Hello. Does this sound familiar to you? You're at the park when the ice cream truck goes by and a child begins to throw a huge tantrum because they want ice cream. To make the child calm down, their parent buys them ice cream. What just happened there is a classic example of bribery and accidental reinforcement of challenging behaviors. Unfortunately, this is a common occurrence that leads to bad behaviors. But the good news is you can easily understand the cause of these behaviors and use strategies to prevent bad behaviors from happening with proper planning. In this episode of Behavior Nation's ABA Parent Education series of videos, we are going to talk about reinforcement versus bribery. We will cover reinforcement versus bribery, what, why, and how, different types of reinforcement, and examples of what reinforcement and bribery look like. Okay, so what is reinforcement versus bribery? Reinforcement are rewards that are earned as an incentive for a job well done, whereas bribery are bribes given in response to a challenging behavior. Reinforcement is a teaching tool, whereas bribery is just a quick fix. Why is it important to know the difference between the two of them? Reinforcement creates a lasting positive change in behavior, whereas bribery only changes the behavior in the moment and not over time. Reinforcement, adults are in charge. They decide when and if a reward has been earned, whereas in bribery, a child's in charge. Negotiation is made in exchange for compliance. Reinforcement also makes a behavior that you want to happen more likely to happen in the future, whereas in bribery only stops an undesired behavior in that moment. Reinforcement improves behavior over time, whereas bribery maintains unwanted behaviors, making them worse over time. Reinforcement is also effective in teaching and maintaining desired skills, whereas bribery is not effective when it comes to teaching skills. So how do you use reinforcement versus bribery? Reinforcement is typically given before a desired or appropriate behavior, whereas bribery is given when a child is engaging in a problem behavior. Reinforcement is delivered when calm and with praise, whereas bribery is delivered in frustration. Reinforcement requires planning and follow-through, while bribery is mostly just reactive. Remember, behavior goes where reinforcement flows. All right, so how do you use different types of reinforcement? First kind of reinforcement is sensory input. These are things like hugs or tight squeezes. So one way to use this is, say, if you're working on a kid and you're trying to teach them how to say hi. If you go up to him and you say, "Hi, Johnny," and Johnny says hi back, you can give him lots of praise and a big hug for saying hi back. The next type of reinforcement is tangibles. One way you can use this is if you're teaching a kid maybe to say their own name and you ask him, "Oh, what's your name?" And they reply back with, "Johnny." You can say, "Good job," and give them his favorite toy. The next type of reinforcement are edibles. So these are the kids' favorite snacks. One way to work this into reinforcement is if you can show me you can clean up your room, then you can get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The next type is social praise. This is typically the easiest type of reinforcement to give and can be as easy as if a kid gets their homework done in time, you can say, "Great job getting your homework done." The last type of reinforcement is activities. These are things like swinging on the swings or playing with the iPad. So one way of using activity reinforcer is you can say, "If you can show me that you can get ready to go out the door all by yourself, we can go to the park after your doctor's appointment." Now let's look at some real-world examples of what reinforcement and bribery look like. First one is, Sully wants her son Matthew to pick up his toys after he has played with them. In the past, he has not complied with her requests. Sully provides him with verbal praise and a big hug every single time he picks up his toys. Now he picks up his toys when he is told to do so. So the behavior of picking up his toys has been shaped and has increased over time because it's been paired with a positive reinforcement of verbal praise. On to our next example of reinforcement. Andrea hates eating her vegetables. Before dinner, Mom tells Andrea, First finish your vegetables, then you can eat your dessert. The reason why this is an example of reinforcement is that mom planned ahead of time and let Andrea know what she needed to do in order to earn her dessert. So that over time, the activity of eating your vegetables gets paired with the good thing of eating dessert. This is a strategy that has to be implemented carefully though, because it can easily turn into bribery. If, for example, mom forgot to plan ahead of time and has already begun dinner, and now Andrea is saying, I don't want to eat my vegetables, they're gross. And mom says, if you eat your vegetables, you can eat dessert. What mom has accidentally done is reinforce the behavior of the whining about not wanting to eat her vegetables and has bribed Andrea to stop whining by using her dessert. On to bribery examples. During arts and crafts, Mary gets out of her seat and runs around the classroom. Mary's teacher tells her if she stops running, then she can use her favorite color for arts and crafts. Now Mary runs around the classroom every time during arts and crafts. So what happened there is Mary has learned that as long as she runs around during arts and crafts, she gets to use her favorite color. What the teacher could have done instead is right before starting the arts and crafts lesson, she could have let Mary know, hey, we're starting arts and crafts now. If you want to use blue, you can just let me know. Can I use the blue crayon? And I'll give it to you. Another example of bribery is, during his meeting, Johnny constantly seeks his dad's attention by saying, Dad, Dad, Dad. Dad tells Johnny, I'm in a meeting right now, but you can go watch TV if you stop bothering Dad. Now Johnny continues to seek Dad's attention whenever he's in a meeting. So what happened there is Dad accidentally reinforced that Dad, Dad, Dad behavior by teaching the kid as long as he bothers Dad enough during his meeting, he gets access to the TV. Another way to go about this scenario is before Dad even starts his meeting, he can set Johnny up with a TV and let him know, hey, I'm in a meeting now. As long as you can sit quietly during my meeting, you get to watch TV. That is it for our video. I hope you found the information useful. If you have any other further questions, you can reach out to us or ask your program manager. Thank you. Have a great day.